What's up, world? Welcome to Friday Fitness, and today we're actually going to be talking about nutrition. It's the biggest key part to losing weight, and it's also the easiest place where most people fail. See, the key to any diet is not really just about dedication, but it's also about a slow, gradual process. It's all about baby steps and moderation. The biggest reason why everyone keeps failing their diet is because they jump onto a diet that's way too ridiculous. They cut out all carbs, they try to do only whole grains and lean meats. They just jump way too far into such an extreme diet, and then they end up cracking and binging and eating and gaining it all back because they just can't handle it. So the best way to gain a good diet is by slowly weaning yourself into a good diet. Just like anything else you do that you're not used to doing, you can't just jump in and expect to run a mile after sitting on your ass for 5 years. The number one misconception is that a lot of people tend to cut out things. You don't want to cut out, you want to cut back. There's a difference. So instead of cutting out sweets, slowly cut back on sweets. Starts with baby steps. Get out all the extra calories that you just have for no reason. All the times that you're offered a good drink, have a water instead. Get used to drinking water because you need to. So what I did to lose the weight, I lost 15 pounds just by doing my diet alone. What I did is first, I slowly cut back on soda, juice, sweets, desserts. And then instead of having desserts every day to every other day, I slowly cut back to twice a week, once a week, a few times a month. And it just slowly just became less and less. Because the less you have it available, the less you'll crave it, the less you'll need it. But exactly. But it's a gradual process. Slowly switch to the whole grains. If you don't want to go from, because I know me personally, I hate whole grain bread. That's the other thing. Don't force yourself into eating something you don't like to eat. If there's something you don't like to eat, even though it's healthy for you, even though it is good for you, if you don't actually have the taste for it, don't eat it. Find a better way to get the nutrients, or find a different way to prepare it, to try to add some flavor to it. Don't just try to force feed yourself things that you don't like, because that's another reason why most people crack and binge. Is because they hate the food that they're trying to eat to lose weight. And they're like, oh, I just need something that tastes good. The other key success to a good diet is something that no one actually ever tells people. And that is cheat meals and cheat days. As you're progressing, when you do start to get into a serious regimen of your diet, you need to allow yourself at least one day a week where you can have at least one meal of something bad. If you don't allow yourself time to actually eat the foods that you want to eat, again, that's what's going to incline you to break your diet and binge eat. And then you're going to be like, what's the point? I already ate all this food. Again, but everything's in moderation. That doesn't mean just on Fridays, just go eat 5,000 calories worth of food. No. But for me, usually the weekend, Friday is usually the day where I can eat what I normally eat on a Friday. I'll still have my healthy foods in there, but it's just like, no, Friday, I'm getting that double cheeseburger because I've been craving it all week. Or I'm getting that Chinese food. I'm getting that pizza. Allow yourself to eat the foods that you're craving. Just try to cut back. Don't cut out. Because that's going to be the key to real success. And now let's talk about calorie counting. A lot of people love calorie counting, and if that works for you, that's fine. I know there's a lot of apps, there's a lot of programs where you calorie count to make sure you're getting the right caloric intakes a day. The only problem with that is that for most people, it's a huge waste of time and effort. So what you should do is you should be caloric aware, but you should not be calorie counting. As in, you should be aware of what's in the foods that you eat, but you don't necessarily need to count to the specific calorie of how much you're eating, because that just puts a lot of time, it puts a lot of effort, it puts a lot of damper on your diet, and it's just more work you have to put in that's necessary. So when you find out, if I'm trying to stick to a 2,000 calorie diet or less, then be aware of what's in that, be aware of the serving sizes, but once you're aware, that's all you need to do. If you can't look at a plate of food and tell if that's good or bad for you or how much you should have, there's a problem. So once you're aware and you have a rough estimate on what's good and what's bad, which most people already have, they just don't listen to, then that's going to be your key, because your body will adjust, and it's meant to adjust. So again, if it works for you, that's fantastic, but for most people, you should just be aware. So it's a lot easier to stay dedicated and maintain to a diet that's a slow, gradual process than just jumping into a military-like regimen. And the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is fasting. I know there's a big craze going on around the fitness world called intermittent fasting, made most popular by the Hodge twins. It's been proven in a lot of cases, not all cases, but in some cases, that fasting intermittently will help you lose weight, because like a creature, your body isn't meant to just eat this all the time. It'll actually help if you go hours or sometimes even a day or two without eating, because out in the wild, there's no guarantee you're going to get food every day at 9 o'clock in the morning, at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and at 5 o'clock at night. So for me personally, I do intermittent fasting, especially if I find myself that I can't go to the gym and I'm trying to lose weight, or I'm not trying to gain weight during the holidays. But for me and most people, I fast during the morning. I won't eat until like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So from roughly, 1 to about 5 is usually where I get my daily intake of calories. And that's actually what's helped me this year, because of shoulder injury and because of a lot of other things that are going on. I haven't necessarily gone to the gym a lot either. And the one main reason why I haven't gained more than 5 pounds in the last 8 months is because I've been intermittent fasting. So I get my daily amount of calories in about a 4 or 5 hour window, and then I fast the rest of the day. So luckily, it works for me. It doesn't work for everyone, so, don't be upset if you try it and it doesn't work. And it is very hard to do. If you do want to try it, take a week to wean yourself into the fasting that you want to get into. Don't just start by, okay, I'm not going to eat until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. No. Diet, exercise is going to be hard, and I will tell you more about actual full diets. I'm going to give you tips and tricks on how to make nice, cheap, easy meals, because I know it's very hard to go out and buy things. I'll also tell you some places where you can buy some healthy foods, some simple substitutions that are cheap and easy, because eating very healthy can very easily be hard on your wallet. No one likes that. But that's it for this week on Friday Fitness. Next week, we're going to be talking about exercise finally. I'm going to talk to you about what we need to do before you exercise, and we're also going to be talking about basic exercises and proper form on how to do them. So I'll see you next week on Friday Fitness. Handyman out.